1,400 light-years from here, through the darkness between stars, there is a world. It orbits a sun much like ours. It turns at a distance where water could exist. It has been there for 6 billion years. This is Kepler 452b, Earth's older cousin. Long before our planet cooled, before the first ocean formed, before anything here took breath, this place was already spinning in the light of its star. We cannot go there. Not in our lifetimes, not in 1,000 lifetimes, but we can imagine the descent. If this journey speaks to you, follow the silent universe. There are more worlds waiting. We cross the void. 1,400 years at the speed of light. Past nebulae, past dead stars, past systems where planets orbit in silence. And then, slowly, a star appears. Not quite the sun, but close enough to feel familiar. Around it, a world turns. Kepler 452b. We approach through the dark, and the planet grows. Clouds cover the surface, thick, dense, layered in shades of white and gray. The atmosphere is deep, deeper than Earth's. We begin our descent. The first layers are thin, cold. The light from the star filters through, turning golden as it scatters. Then the air thickens. We feel it, even though we cannot truly feel anything here. The gravity pulls harder, almost twice what we know. Every motion would be slower, every breath heavier. The clouds part briefly. Below, something solid. A surface, rocky perhaps, maybe covered in water. We cannot know until we go lower. The temperature shifts, warmer now. The star is 20% brighter than our sun, and older by 1.5 billion years. It has been burning longer, shining longer, heating this world longer. The air could be thick with carbon dioxide, or water vapor, or gases we have no names for. The science offers possibilities, not certainties. Models suggest heaviness, density, a pressure that would press against the chest, make the lungs work harder. We descend further. The light changes. No longer the harsh brightness of space, but something softer, diffused. The kind of light that comes through fog, through mist, through air that holds moisture and dust and time. And then finally, we see it. The surface. We touch down. The ground is solid beneath us, real, ancient, waiting. The first thing we notice is the weight, not the weight of the air alone, though it presses down like a hand on the shoulders, but the weight of the planet itself. Gravity here is nearly double Earth's. Every step would take effort, every motion deliberate. The body would tire faster. The muscles would strain against something invisible but absolute. We stand on a plain. It stretches in all directions, flat and endless, broken only by low rises in the distance. The ground is dark. Basalt, perhaps. Volcanic rock, cooled and cracked over billions of years. Or maybe something else. Sandstone worn smooth. Sediment compacted by oceans that came and went. The mist never fully lifts. It sits low, clinging to the ground, rising in slow currents when the wind moves. Visibility shifts constantly. Close we see detail, the texture of stone, the way shadows pool in crevices. Far, there is only shape. Silhouettes, the suggestion of form. This world is old, 6 billion years. To put that in perspective, when Kepler 452b was already 1 billion years into its orbit, our sun had not yet ignited. When life began on Earth, this place had already spun for 3 billion years. What has that time done? The rocks here could have been shaped by wind, by rain, by rivers that carved paths and then dried, by tectonic shifts that cracked the crust and let heat escape. If volcanoes exist here, and with 5 times Earth's mass they might, they would be slow, patient things, not explosive bursts, but steady flows of lava that cool into new land. The surface could be scarred, cratered by impacts that came in the early days before the system settled, or smooth, eroded by weather we cannot imagine. There is no sound here, no birds, no insects, No rustle of leaves or distant hum of traffic. Only the wind, if wind exists. Only the low groan of a planet that breathes in its own way. We look around. The plain extends. The mist shifts. Somewhere beyond, the terrain changes. Mountains rise. Oceans wait. But here, in this moment, there is only stone and silence and the weight of a world that does not know we are imagining it. On the horizon, through the mist, shapes emerge. Mountains. They are not sharp. Not the jagged peaks of youth. These are old mountains, worn, rounded by wind and rain and time. If the Rockies are adolescents, still growing, still sharp-edged, then these are ancients. They have stood for billions of years and the planet has softened them. We begin to move toward them. Under the doubled gravity, the walk is slow. Each step sinks slightly into the ground. The muscles protest. The heart works harder. But we continue, because the mountains pull us forward. As we approach, they grow. Not suddenly, but gradually, the way distant things do when you cross great space. The bases are wide, broader than any range on Earth. The slopes are gentle at first, then steeper. The rock here is layered, sediment compressed over eons, lifted by forces deep below, then exposed by erosion. We begin to climb. The air thins as we rise, though not by much. The atmosphere is thick here, denser than home. But still, at elevation, breathing becomes deliberate. Each intake of air is an effort. The gravity does not relent. Every meter gained is work. The mist thins too. From higher up, the view changes. Below, the plains we crossed stretch endlessly, disappearing into haze. In the other direction, something glints, water perhaps, an ocean catching the light of the star above. The peaks themselves are silent. No snow caps them. The temperature here may not allow it, or the atmosphere may be too dry. Instead, they are bare, exposed, the bones of the planet showing through. We rest at the summit. The wind is stronger here. It moves across the rock with a low sound, almost a hum. From this height, we see the curve of the world, the way the surface bends away into distance, the way the star, Kepler 452, older and brighter than our sun, hangs in the sky, casting long shadows. These mountains have witnessed everything this planet has become. They were here when the star was young. They will be here when it grows old and swells and pushes the habitable zone outward, away from this orbit. They do not care about life or death or the questions we bring. They simply are. And in their silence, there is something profound, a reminder that existence does not require purpose, that a mountain can stand for 6 billion years without needing to mean anything at all. We descend, the plains await again, and beyond them, the ocean. We reach the coast as the light begins to shift. The ocean stretches before us, dark and still. The water, if it is water, reflects the sky in muted tones. Gray, silver, deep blue, where the light does not reach. Some models suggest Kepler 452b could be a water world, a planet where oceans cover most or all of the surface, with few or no continents rising above. If that is true, then what we see here is only a fragment, the edge of something vast, something deeper than anything on Earth. The water is calm. No waves break against the shore. No tide pulls and pushes with the rhythm we know. We do not know if this planet has a moon, if something tugs at these waters the way Luna tugs at ours. The surface is smooth, almost glassy, disturbed only by the occasional ripple when the wind touches it. We step closer. The shore is not sand. It is stone. Smooth, rounded pebbles that shift underfoot. They have been worn by water, shaped over time. If there are tides here, they have been working for billions of years. The ocean extends beyond sight. At the horizon, it meets the sky in a blurred line. Mist rises from the surface, thickening the air. The smell, imagined of course, would be different. Not salt perhaps, not the sharpness of Earth's seas. Something heavier, mineral, ancient. With 5 times the mass of Earth, Kepler 452b could hold its oceans for much longer than our planet. The gravity keeps the atmosphere pressed down, keeps the water from escaping into space. If life ever existed here, this ocean might have been its cradle. Deep trenches where heat vents still flow, layers of water where chemistry builds complexity, but we do not know. We cannot see beneath the surface, cannot measure the depth or test the composition. The ocean is a possibility, not a certainty. It could be water. It could be something else entirely. Liquid methane, ammonia, a chemistry that does not exist on Earth. The waves, if they come, would be slow, heavy. The gravity would pull them down before they could rise too high. Storms here might be different. Not violent, not fast, but persistent. Long stretches of rain that last for weeks, driven by the thick atmosphere and the warmth of the aging star. We stand at the edge. The water laps gently against the stones. There are no footprints here, no signs that anything has ever walked this shore. No shells, no driftwood, no evidence of life. Just the ocean, just the coast, just the silence. And in that silence, we feel the weight of possibility. The question that hangs over every world we imagine: could something live here? We do not answer, not yet. We simply watch the water and let the question remain. We look up. The sky is not blue, not quite. The atmosphere is thicker here and the light scatters differently. There are tones of gold, of amber. The color shifts depending on the angle, on the density of the mist, on the time of day. If day and night here follow the same rhythm we know. The star hangs above, Kepler 452, a G-type star much like our sun, but older. 6 billion years to the sun's 4.5, and brighter, 20% more luminous. From the surface, it would look almost identical to the sun seen from Earth. Same size, same general warmth. But the light would feel different, slightly more intense. The kind of light that makes shadows sharper, that warms the skin faster. A year here lasts 385 Earth days, not much longer than our own. The orbit is stable. The distance from the star places Kepler 452b firmly in the habitable zone, the region where liquid water could exist on the surface, if the conditions are right. But the days themselves? We do not know their length. The planet's rotation could be fast or slow. Days might last 20 hours, or 40, or it could be tidally locked, with one side always facing the star, the other always in darkness. The science does not tell us. We can only imagine. The sun moves across the sky, or we imagine it does. The light shifts from overhead to the horizon, and as it does, the gold deepens. The mist catches the rays and glows. The mountains in the distance turn dark against the brightness. The ocean reflects a path of light, stretching toward us. Sunset here would be longer than on Earth. The thick atmosphere would scatter the light for a greater time. Reds, oranges, deep purples. The kind of sunset that makes you stop and watch, even if you have seen it 1,000 times before. And then night. The star dips below the horizon. The gold fades. The sky darkens. There is no light pollution here. No cities, no street lamps, no glow on the horizon from distant towns. Only darkness, pure and complete. The stars appear, thousands of them, more than we ever see from Earth. They fill the sky, dense in some regions, sparse in others. The Milky Way, if it is visible from this angle, from this side of the galaxy, would stretch overhead like a river of light. We lie on the stone and look up. The constellations are different. None of the patterns we know. No Orion, no Big Dipper, no North Star guiding the way home. These are new shapes, new stories that have never been told. And somewhere, 1,400 light years away, hidden among those distant points of light is our sun. A small, unremarkable yellow star. Around it, a blue planet where beings look up at their own sky and wonder if they are alone. We are not alone, but we are impossibly far apart. The night deepens, the stars shine, and we lie on the surface of Kepler 452b, feeling the weight of the planet beneath us, feeling the weight of the cosmos above, and we understand, for a moment, what it means to be small. Could something live here? The question sits with us as we stand under the alien sky. It is the question we carry to every distant world. The question that makes these journeys more than exercises in physics. Kepler 452b has been in the habitable zone for 6 billion years. That is a long time. Longer than Earth has had complex life. Longer than Earth has had life at all. If the conditions were right, if there was water, if there was chemistry, if there was energy, 6 billion years is enough time for something to begin. But we do not know if the conditions were right. We do not know if there is water. The models suggest it is possible. The planet is in the right place at the right distance from its star. But possibility is not certainty. The atmosphere could be too thick with carbon dioxide, creating a runaway greenhouse effect. The surface could be too hot. The oceans, if they exist, could be boiling, or the opposite. The atmosphere could be thin, the surface cold, the water frozen beneath a crust of ice. We do not know. The planet is 1,800 light-years away, too far for current telescopes to measure its mass precisely, too far to detect an atmosphere, too far to analyze the composition of that atmosphere, to search for the signatures of oxygen, methane, water vapor, the gases that might hint at life. So we are left with imagination. If life exists here, it would not be like us. The gravity alone would shape it differently. Movement would be harder. Flight might be impossible. Creatures here, if creatures is even the right word, would be low to the ground, strong, built to endure weight. If there are oceans, life might exist in the depths, far below the surface, where volcanic vents release heat and minerals, where chemistry happens in the dark. Microorganisms, perhaps, simple, resilient, feeding on sulfur and methane instead of sunlight, or perhaps something more, something that has had 6 billion years to grow complex, to adapt, to spread. But there is another possibility. Perhaps there is nothing. Perhaps Kepler 452b is a world of stone and water and air and nothing more. A planet that orbits and spins and weathers but does not live. Chemistry without biology, physics without purpose. And that would not make it less. It would still be a world. It would still exist. It would still turn under its star, still hold its oceans, still wear its mountains down to dust over the eons. Life is not a requirement for significance. We stand on the imagined surface and feel the truth of that. This place does not need us to observe it, does not need life to justify its existence. It simply is, and we may never know. The telescopes of the future, James Webb and whatever comes after, may tell us more. They may detect an atmosphere, may measure its composition, may find hints of water vapor, of clouds, of weather patterns that suggest oceans. But they may not. Distance is a barrier we cannot fully overcome. Some questions remain unanswered. Some worlds remain mysteries. And perhaps that is how it should be. We do not need to know everything. We do not need every world to reveal itself. The unknown is not a failure. It is a companion, a reminder that the universe is vast and we are small, and there are places we will only ever know through imagination. Kepler 452b is one of those places, and it is enough. We sit on the stone and think about time. This planet is old, 6 billion years. To put that in perspective, when Kepler 452b formed, our sun did not yet exist. The cloud of gas and dust that would become our solar system was still scattered across space, waiting to collapse. When the Earth cooled and the first oceans formed, Kepler 452b had already been orbiting for 3 billion years. When life began on Earth, simple, single-celled, fragile, this planet was already ancient. Time here is different, not in the literal sense. Time moves at the same rate everywhere as far as we know. But the experience of time, the accumulation of it, the weight of it, is staggering. 6 billion years of sunrises, 6 billion years of seasons, if seasons exist here. 6 billion years of weather shaping the surface, of tectonic plates shifting, of mountains rising and falling, 6 billion years of chemistry, of atoms rearranging, of processes we do not fully understand. And the star above is aging. Kepler 452 is a G-type star like our Sun, but it is further along. It has burned longer, and as stars age, they change. They grow hotter, brighter. The habitable zone, the region where liquid water can exist, moves outward. In the next 500 million years, Kepler 452 will heat enough to push the habitable zone beyond this planet's orbit. The oceans, if they exist, will begin to evaporate. The atmosphere will thicken with steam. The surface will become too hot for liquid water, too hot for life if life exists. We are witnessing a world in its final chapter. Or perhaps we are witnessing a world that never had life to begin with, a world that has simply existed, spinning and weathering, for 6 billion years, and will continue to exist, growing hotter and drier until the star swells into a red giant and swallows it whole. Either way, the timescale is humbling. Our entire civilization, every empire, every war, every work of art, every discovery, spans only a few thousand years. A blink in the life of this planet, less than a blink, and Earth itself is young compared to Kepler 452b. Our planet has another billion years, perhaps 2, before the sun heats enough to make the surface uninhabitable. But this world, it has already lived through that stretch. It is on the far side of habitability, entering the decline. If we could speak to this planet, if planets could speak, what would it say? Perhaps it would say nothing. Perhaps it would simply exist, as it has always existed. Time does not mean the same thing to a planet as it does to us. Planets do not experience, do not remember, do not mourn. They turn, they orbit, they endure. And in their endurance, there is a lesson. We are brief. Our concerns are brief. The things we worry about, the things we argue over, the things we think are permanent, all of it is temporary, a moment in a much longer story. Kepler 452b reminds us of that. It was here before us. It will be here after us. And it does not care. That is not cruelty. It is simply truth. The universe does not explain itself. It simply exists. And so we sit on the stone, under the aging star, and we feel the weight of time pressing down as surely as gravity. We stand and prepare to leave. But before we do, we acknowledge something important. Everything we have seen here is imagination. The plains, the mountains, the oceans, the sky, all of it built from physics, from models, from the limited data we have. We do not know what Kepler 452b truly looks like. We cannot know. The planet is 1,800 light-years away, too far for our current technology to resolve details, too far to measure its mass with certainty, too far to detect an atmosphere, let alone analyze it. We do not know if the surface is rocky or oceanic. We do not know the color of the sky. We do not know the texture of the ground. We do not know if there are mountains or plains or coastlines. We can only infer. The planet is roughly 60% larger than Earth. It orbits in the habitable zone. Its star is similar to ours. From these facts, we build possibilities. We imagine what could be, based on what we know from Earth, from Mars, from the moons of Jupiter and Saturn. But imagination is not observation. Future telescopes may tell us more. The James Webb Space Telescope and those that come after it may be able to detect an atmosphere, may be able to measure its composition, may be able to tell us if there is water vapor, oxygen, methane, the chemicals that hint at oceans, at weather, at life. But even then, we will not see the surface, not directly, not the way we see Earth from orbit. The distance is too great, the technology is not there, and it may never be. Kepler 452b may remain forever a world we know only through inference, a place that exists in our minds more than in our instruments, and that does not diminish it. Some places are meant to remain mysteries. Some questions are meant to stay unanswered. The universe is vast and we are small, and there are limits to what we can reach, even with our best tools. But those limits do not stop us from imagining. They do not stop us from building models, from asking questions, from wondering what it would be like to stand on a world 1,400 light years away. And perhaps that is enough. Perhaps the most honest thing we can say about Kepler 452b is this: it exists, it orbits, it turns, and we will never walk on its surface, never breathe its air, never see its sky with our own eyes. But we can think about it. We can picture the plains covered in mist, the mountains worn smooth by time, the oceans reflecting the light of an aging star. We can imagine the weight of the gravity, the thickness of the air, the silence of a world where no voice has ever spoken. And in that imagining, we connect to something larger. We remind ourselves that Earth is not the only world, that the universe is full of places, billions of them, each with their own conditions, their own history, their own silent existence. Kepler 452b is one of those places, and it is real, even if we never see it. We begin to ascend. The surface falls away beneath us. The plains fade into mist. The mountains shrink to distant shapes. The ocean becomes a dark expanse, reflecting nothing. The atmosphere thickens around us as we rise, and then thins again. The clouds close below. The star, Kepler 452, shines above, bright and steady. And then we are beyond the atmosphere, back in the silence of space. Kepler 452b continues to turn. It does not notice our departure. It did not notice our arrival. It will continue to orbit, to spin, to weather, long after we have forgotten this imagined journey, long after our civilization has ended, long after the sun has cooled and the earth has gone silent. This is what distant worlds teach us. They teach us scale. They teach us time. They teach us that existence does not require observation, that a planet can be fully and completely without ever being seen. Kepler 452b is sometimes called Earth's older cousin, not a twin, not a sibling, but a relative, something familiar yet different, something that might have followed a similar path or might have diverged entirely. It shows us what Earth could become if our star aged faster, or what Earth might have been if conditions had been slightly different 4.5 billion years ago. But more than that, it shows us possibility. There are billions of planets in our galaxy, billions of worlds orbiting billions of stars. Some are gas giants, swirling storms with no solid surface. Some are frozen, far from their suns, locked in permanent ice. Some are too hot, too close, their atmospheres stripped away by radiation. But some are in the habitable zone. Some orbit at the right distance, some have the right size, the right gravity, the right star. Some could have water, could have chemistry, could have life. We do not know which ones. We may never know. But they are out there, spinning, existing, waiting. And thinking about them changes something in us. It pulls us out of ourselves, out of our daily concerns, out of the small sphere of our immediate experience. It reminds us that we are part of something vast, something ancient, something that will continue long after we are gone. It is humbling, and it is comforting. Because if worlds like Kepler 452b exist, silent, distant, indifferent, then perhaps our own struggles, our own fears, our own failings are not as heavy as they seem. Perhaps the universe does not demand answers from us, does not require us to solve everything, does not judge us for being small. Perhaps it is enough to exist as Kepler 452b exists, to turn, to orbit, to endure. We look back one last time. The planet is a small point now, a dot against the black. The star is brighter but still distant, and around them, the galaxy turns, full of other dots, other stars, other worlds we will never visit. But we will think about them, we will imagine them, and in doing so, we will remember that Earth, for all its beauty and its fragility, is just one world among many. The only one we know completely, the only one we can walk on, breathe on, call home, for now. What other distant twin would you like us to visit? Leave a comment below. Tell us which world you want to explore next. and follow the silent universe the cosmos is waiting.